Back during slavery, when black people like me talked to the slaves, they didn't kill him. They'd send some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro.
This type of thinking. And to understand this type of man, you must understand that historically there were two types of slaves. The house Negro and the field Negro. Now the house Negro, he lived in the house next to his master.
The Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes.
His master better than the master loved himself. If the master said, "We got a nice house here," he said, "Yeah, boss, we got a nice house here." Master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would be the one who'd run to put the blaze out. If the master got sick, he said, "What's the matter, boss? We sick? We sick."
Boss, we sick?
See, this is the thinking of the house Negro. Now, if another slave came up to him and said, "Let's run away, let's separate, let's get away from this cruel master," he said, "Why? What's better than what we got here? Run away, I'm not going anywhere. This is the house Negro." In those days, we called him the house nigger. And that's what we call him today, because we still got a lot of house
But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes, they ate the worst food, and they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes. Yeah. I'm a field Negro.